officially call this meeting to order at 9:18. A little bit of housekeeping. We would ask that everybody would silence their cell phones. It's out of respect for the speaker as well as those around you. If you do need to take a call, all of these doors lead straight out. The restrooms, if you walk through the back doors, are going to be straight ahead on your left. There are also drinks provided the whole day for the conference in the back, coffee, tea, soda, and water. And I am excited that you guys are all here. I don't stand behind the podium much, you guys, so I walk around. You'll just see me walking around. I would like to first thank our first timers and our president. So if you're a first timer, if you could please stand. First time to conference. It means a lot that you guys are here. We know this is our first conference back after COVID, and the world is just reopening, but it means a lot to us. We had a lot of fun last night, so for those first timers that were able to attend, we painted, we danced, we made some new friends, and we hope to continue to do so today and tomorrow with our first timers. Also, our club presidents, if you're here, if you please go ahead and stand. We want to recognize you. So as you guys know, we were short on chairs this 5 a.m. Connie Bear relocated. She was our fundraising chair. Most of you know her, dear friend of many of ours, and she's no longer in the Southern region. And when we were looking for a new membership or fundraising chair, the board stepped in, and so they filled those 2 positions. But our other 2 chairs are Lydia's dream chair, Lorraine Lundy. She is also my second mama. And Sarah Bain, Public Awareness. She is also working on our Zoom and tech part of this meeting. And so wears many hats, as do most people. Kathy actually, Governor-elect Kathy oversaw our programs chair position as well. So thank you, Governor-elect Kathy, for stepping in. Of course, none of us would be here without the board. So Sky Kent, our treasurer. Casey Obradovich, our District 3 director. District 2 director, Rosetta Peacock. She will also be acting secretary for today's conference minutes. District 1 director, Dr. Heidi Schaefer. Oh, there you are. I was like, oh, where did she go? Governor-elect Kathy Blanton. Acting parliamentarian and past Governor Pat McKay. We have another special guest up here, but we'll be with her in a moment. But I do want to thank all of you. It was definitely a strange biennium. I don't want to use negative words to describe it, because that doesn't help us grow. So we're very excited about where we're going, but definitely having these people by my side over the last 2 years in leadership as friends to call for them to help pick up some of my dropped juggling balls was a blessing that I didn't know I needed at the time. So thank you all very much. We also want to recognize past governors. And past Governor Marie, you're not in this photo because you were, I think, in a different region when we took this photo. But if you're past governor, if you can go ahead and please stand. So we have past Governor Pat McKay, past Governor Denise Held, and past Governor Marie Kennedy. And walking in their shoes makes me respect them a lot more. So thank you, ladies, for carving this path for us. We also have past Governor Ann Decatrell on Zoom. Hi, Ann. Yay, she sees us. She's waving back. Oh, Caroline is here. I don't see her name. Oh, there she is. Past Governor Caroline, immediate past governor, is also joining us via Zoom today. Hi, Governor Caroline. We have two very distinguished guests in the house today as well. We have Kathy Standiford, former SIA president, and Dawn Marie Lamont, if you can rise for us. They gave an amazing presentation yesterday on the UN and our reach through Seroptimus International. So we definitely appreciate all of that information so we can take it back to our clubs. I know that one of the things we learned on the district meeting was that people wanted to know more things about what our global reach is and not just what we're doing in our local communities. So thank you for flying from the other coast to join us. We have two additional guests. Aisha Brown, Chief of Impact and Engagement. There she is. And for all of you guys who want to know if change is happening at headquarters, she's the change we want to see. So definitely speak with her, meet with her. I kind of fell in love with her at our board meeting. So thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Leanne Davis, SI Central California Online. Thank you for flying across the country to be in the Southern region. And now it's the part that we all love, the business meeting part of the state of the region. We are going to have a few things that we have to review. I am going to ask Kathy Peace to come up and provide our preliminary credentials report. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning. Can you all hear me? Yes. Or do you want me to use the mic?
Good morning, everybody. It really is a blessing to be here. So I'm so glad everybody's here. This is the first credential report. We have 23 delegates, 18 non-voting members. We have 2 from Federation. We have 3 SIS guests, 1 non-SIS guest, for a total of 47 here today. So there we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. And we will also count our virtual attendees as part of our credentials report after the lunch break, as we're seeing people still logging in there. A little bit new and change, right? Thank you, Kathy Peace, for presenting the preliminary credentials report. And I will see if we have a motion to accept the preliminary credentials report from the floor.
Move to accept the credentials report.
Marie Ambrosino from SIDV, even though she lives in Tampa. Ambrosino is making a motion to accept the preliminary credentials report. Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Lorraine Lundy, SI Tampa, who lives in SI Tampa, has a second motion. Is there any discussion about the credentials report from the floor? Okay. All those in favor of the adoption of the preliminary credentials report as presented, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. I was waiting for a response. That was funny. The ayes have it, and the preliminary credentials report is accepted. The Southern region has 13 clubs in good standing. A quorum is required to conduct the region's business. The Southern region bylaws state as follow that Article 6, Section 6.4, I know you guys all want to know that, right? Very fun. That a meeting of the region shall be at least 10 delegates from at least 7 clubs, and with 13 clubs represented today, we do have a quorum, so thank you all. I'm very much a PowerPoint person. So the next item on our business is to have Secretary Rosetta come up to present our agenda, printed copy of the agenda.
Good morning. The items in the consent. Oh, the conference agenda. A printed copy of the conference agenda is in folders. and were provided to each person that registered for the conference.
We do have a few corrections already on the agenda. So it should be breaking for lunch on page 1 of Saturday's meeting. I believe it's page 1. Oh no, it's page 2. We're not breaking from lunch. We're going to break for lunch. We also have a change in one of our speakers in the afternoon. Linda Fagan was unable to join us, and so Shannon Taylor of SI Homestead will be filling in for that session. Thank you, Shannon Taylor. And minor, on the Ruby Lee minor, is spelled wrong. It is not a coal miner, it is Ruby Lee minor. So it should be an A and not an E.
Are there any corrections from the floor? I move to accept the standing rules. I move to accept the conference agenda as an official order of business for this meeting, as corrected.
Do we have a second? Terry Matlock, Tampa, seconds the motion. Thank you, Secretary. Oh, I apologize. Is there any discussion from the floor? All in favor of approving the conference agenda, say aye. All of those opposed, say no. Thank you, Secretary Rosetta. The motion is approved for the conference agenda to be accepted as part of the business. Next, we will move on to an electronic copy of the consent agenda, and Secretary Rosetta will present for us.
The items in the consent agenda are the actual financial report of the 2021 95th Southern Region Conference. The consent agenda was sent to presidents, board members, past governors on Wednesday, April 20th, 2021. 22 went to all members. Okay.
Is there any item which a member of the voting body wishes to remove for discussion from the consent agenda? Okay. May we get a motion to pass the consent agenda? Susan Coyle, S.I. Davy, moves.
I'll second it. Deborah Wild, S.I. Stewart.
Deborah Wild, S.I. Stewart, seconds the motion. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor of accepting the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. A motion has been passed to accept the consent agenda as part of this business meeting. Thank you, Secretary Rosetta. We do have timekeepers today. If you guys know me, I'm a little ridiculous with my schedule. Very small margins in my life, and I like to run things fairly promptly. So we do have a timekeeper. I feel like it's Sarah Bang. Are you going to be our timekeeper today in the back? Yes. So if you'll hold up the yellow card for me, anybody who's speaking today will get a 3-minute yellow card. So you know that you have 3 minutes left to wrap up. And then you'll get a red card at 1 minute. So it's not a hard stop. I know it's hard to just stop when you see the red card. So we put 1 minute on the red card, but it's a strong warning, okay? She's pretty strong, so thank you guys for the business part of today's meeting. I'm going to ask Parliamentarian Pat McKay if you believe I've forgotten anything. Thank you very much. Okay, now on to the state of the region. One thing that we're very proud of in our Southern region is we've had 100% participation from all of our clubs in the Live Your Dream Award program. We have had that since I've been on the board, at least 6 years, and it may be further back or farther back than that. So it's huge for us to reach our big goal to participate in the Dream It, Be It, and the Live Your Dream Awards programs. And for us to be this strong as a small but mighty region is such a big goal and a big achievement for us. We are struggling in membership, so this is something you're going to hear quite a bit about this conference. Dr. Heidi is going to conduct a panel later today that will speak about what some of our clubs are doing to increase their membership, and I'm very excited about that. President Lois from Huntsville shared this morning as well in the president's meeting some things that they're doing to increase membership, and possibly Dr. Heidi will have her share that with us during that panel today if there is time. We are working on 3 new charters in the Southern region. I know you guys have heard this before, but they actually are in pretty, the steps are moving forward pretty great. Governor-elect Kathy is working on an online club from the state of Georgia. So if any of you guys have been to Georgia, lived in Atlanta, I have for 6 years, and there is nothing close in Atlanta. If you have a meeting at 5:30 and Chamblee Dunwoody, you're not getting there at 5:30 unless you leave at 3:30, and that's if you're 20 miles away. So we're working to charter an online club to regain our branding in the Georgia area, and Governor-elect Kathy and I will work on that through her biennium. So thank you for starting that. We also have some interest in the Riviera Beach area. President Glenda Garrett is going to be working on helping us to charter another club down there. So thank you, Dr. Garrett. And we're also working on a second club here in the Pasco area. So right now you're in Hillsborough County. Right north of here is Pasco County. That's where I live. And we really feel like there's an unmet need in that area. And so we're also working to charter a club in the Pasco County area. We have learned and we've talked and we've discussed how hard it is to charter clubs in areas where there are no people, right? So I'm going to go to Mississippi and we're going to charter a club, but there's nobody there to put the work in. And so we're really trying to, I don't want to say attack, but approach the next biennium with having local clubs start a chapter very close by so that they can help each other grow. And that's what our goal is there. We are also fiscally healthy, so small, mighty, but fiscally healthy. Treasurer Sky has done a great job with our bookkeeping over the last couple of years, and even with this conference. As you know, we're limited attendance today. It's higher than some, but we definitely were hoping to have a lot more people. And when you don't have 100 people at a conference, you can only go way over budget. But this board, we are not that far over budget, as well as Yvette has helped me a ton with the food, with pricing, with budget, with things that we can do to make it fun for everybody. So thank you guys again for that, because we do know that money is needed to continue to run our region. So we asked this in the president's meeting this morning, and it was posed to me by SIA President-elect Stephanie Smith. And she said, "What did you learn about yourself during COVID?" And I was like, oh, there's so many things, right? And so I asked the presidents that this morning, and some of you guys may not be on board with tattoos, but during COVID, I got a tattoo on my arm, and it says kindness, grace, and patience, right? And people say, oh, do you look at that every day? Every single day, every single day. You're not gonna put something on your body if you don't wanna look at it every single day. But what did I hear from the presidents this morning? That they learned patience, that they had to give themselves grace, that we need to be kinder to each other. And so it got me to thinking about when President-elect Stephanie Smith, who I'm going to introduce very soon, asked me this question. The one thing that, if you know me, I'm an introvert. So a lot of people that know me well, they just see the outward appearance. They think, oh no, she's very social, very extroverted, very fun. I have to go home and read a book to recharge for my next social event. Very, very introverted. And prior to joining Seroptimist, you couldn't have caught a mic in my hand. There's no way I would be up here speaking to anybody. What I learned though was that when I stopped. And how it affected me was I didn't know how to function. When I was flying 53 flights a year, running my businesses, doing team building retreats, I could juggle all of the balls. And we used to joke like, oh, what if one of the balls fall? They all fell. They all fell. And I found, and what I shared with President-elect Stephanie Smith, was that I didn't know how to get them all back up in the air. When everything stopped, I couldn't move. So I learned how important all of you are, these people in the room, you know, hugging Mary Beth and Kathy and seeing Kathy Iho yesterday, and my friend Marie Ambrosino, who doesn't join Tampa yet, but I love JB. She loves me. I can do it, right? It's all fun in the southern region, right? So those are some of the things that I needed to be productive. And when the world started to reopen, I felt more like myself. Poor Governor-elect Kathy, there was a time I called her and I was like, I probably need to step down as governor. And she's like, I've got you. You've got this. I spoke to Denise. I spoke to Caroline. And I was like, I don't know that I've got this, you guys. But as soon as things started to flow again, all of a sudden my energy was back. I could get it all done. And I was like, what changed? And it was connection. And so as much as we love the virtual world, as much as we think, oh, you know, it's so good, we can get so much more done. And we all joked, oh, I was just in my sweatpants. I never put makeup on, right? And we didn't. But how did that make us feel, right? I talked to my mom a lot about all you have to do is get up and take a shower. Just do that one thing for me today, right? Get dressed. You feel so much better. If we just sit in our pajamas, that was my productivity level. I was like, well, I can get so much more done now. I don't have commute. I don't have air travel, but I didn't. So we asked the presidents this morning, and we want to ask each one of you, you know, think about it. How did COVID change you, or what did you learn about yourself during that time? And have some conversations today about it. Be open, be honest, right? President Lois this morning said she learned she didn't have a lot of patience, right? I commend her for being honest with herself and the team that she realized that about herself, which brings me to my next slide. So my board knows this, or the board, they're not my board, they're the board, knows that I love Brene Brown. Anybody know Brene Brown? Read, watch, listen to podcasts of Brene Brown. Dr. Heidi and I presented at least 3 years ago, maybe 4, on vulnerability. She has a podcast right now, and it's also, I believe, on TV, called Atlas of the Heart. And she spoke about something that really spoke to me to share with you guys for Seroptimus, and that was biography, biology, blueprint, and backstory, right? It doesn't matter who we are. Those 4 things are going to be different for each one of us, right? We can all be in the same room right now, and those 4 things are completely different about each one of us. Some of you guys met my sister last evening. She came to the painting with Patricia. She's my best friend. She's the person that can understand me the closest because a few of these line up. Our backstory is the same. Our biology is the same. But there's still pieces of me in my journey that she didn't experience and pieces of her in her journey. And so when we talk to people and we try to understand where they're coming from and we become combative, or we don't want to hear their points, or we think they're wrong and we just stand in our position and we don't give grace to how we feel and say, maybe I'm wrong, maybe they're right, or maybe we're both right and we can agree to disagree, but understand why people are the way they are. Everybody has a different story. Somebody in here is going through something none of us know about, and we're not providing grace. And so I really want you to think about those 4 B's when you meet somebody, because I've met some people that just aren't kind. And I'm like, okay, Michelle, what are they going through today? Why were they so rude to me today? And instead of reacting, I pause. So another word was used this morning, intentional. We definitely want to be intentional with our actions. So pause, think about that backstory and how you want to approach that person going forward.